Alright, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some crypto news. We're also going to talk about the price a little bit as usual. So, last time we left off, the price was pretty far down, and then it went back up, as usual. So we reached about a high of 9,175 some dollars in Bitcoin, and then now it's receding once again. And there's quite a bit of selling pressure currently in the order book, but that doesn't mean anything long-term at the moment. Same thing with Litecoin here, also all the way down, and pretty much every other coin. So we got Bitcoin down by 2.77, Ethereum down by nearly 5%, and Litecoin about the same at 2.85% of Bitcoin. So what's going to happen in the future here? Don't really know, but it's still a great time to buy at 162. I think I bought one whole Litecoin at 160, and then I bought about a third of a Litecoin a couple days after that when it was, I think, 150, something like that. So not too bad. Wasn't a lot of Litecoin, but, you know, you got to do what you got to do. Sometimes, you know, just throw a little money into the system when the price is way down, and turns out to be pretty good at the moment, but it's starting to crash down a little bit more. If it goes to something like 140, I think I might buy a whole coin again, but we'll see. So to coin market cap here, we can see that most coins are pretty far down. EOS is up just a little bit there. Has reached 6 in the market cap of coins. So I don't know where EOS was, you know, a month ago or something or anything like that, but you know, it's getting up there pretty good, and you know, I'm not too big of a fan of EOS. It's kind of like Ethereum, really. But to each his own. You know, whoever bought in at a low price is certainly well off at the moment. So Vergecoin is today's winner for sure at 21.31% growth. Interestingly enough, Vertcoin is the second winner, and I love my Vertcoin, so I'm very happy about that, up by 10.5%. So we have a decent amount of coins that are up. Most of them are, quite frankly, very, very alty coins, except for I would consider Vertcoin and Verge not too alty, if you will. So not too bad, but the rest of the coins are down. The loser of the day is GX Chain and Walton Chain, which is not surprising. Populous is a third lost. Request network is down. So G-Chain down by 12.44% and Walton Chain down by 8.82%. So whoever's holding on to Verge is should be quite happy right now. However, we can take a look at it here. And that is quite the spike in price that I saw there. Again, yeah, that looks very pumpy. That is all in today. That is just today. That price that went up like that. So if you're holding on to Verge, might be a good time to sell because that's not going to last for too long. So moving on to some news here, Zcash's coming hard fork could pave the way for even more. So privacy-focused cryptocurrency Zcash is gearing up for its first hard fork, and while that may call to mind bitter debates over development or excitement about free coins, actually Zcash's first hard fork dub Overwinter isn't about either. Instead, the cryptocurrency development team is hoping to lay the groundwork for more drastic upgrades in the future. So while there are some features being added to Zcash in the update, Zuku Wilcox, co-founder and CEO of ZeroCoin Electric Coin Company, which develops the network, told CoinDesk the purpose of this is to get practice doing network upgrades. As such, the developer team has been carefully informing the Zcash community about the process, so they know how to do this regularly from now on. It continued, most of the Zcash's developer energy is focused on perfecting Overwinter, which is slated for June, while also looking ahead to Zcash's hard fork upgrade called Sapling. This subsequent hard fork will usher in a big change, speeding up transactions on the network while maintaining the same level of privacy the cryptocurrency already provides. So, speaking to the names of the upgrades, Zcash's software stage is currently called Sprout. Wow. Throwing a lot of them at us. Wilcox said he foresees a smooth transition. He told CoinDesk, if you have a Sprout, after it has endured cold, it becomes tougher. Okay, fair enough. And should Zcash survive this winter, surely, according to its devs, cryptocurrency will be stronger. While the thinking on forks has shifted some, hard forks have been seen as controversial, since they are kind of a governance mechanism that forces users to move along with a technical change. Should the Zcash community ride out the first transition, though, Zcash developers believe it can handle others. So if I say hard fork, immediately people ask me what the name of the new coin is, and if there will be an airdrop, Wilcox said, adding that he prefers to call Overwinter a network upgrade. But according to Wilcox, that won't be the case with this hard fork, since people would rather have version 2.0 of Zcash, with new features that unlock immediately. So Zcash is hard forking, essentially. It's just going to be a network upgrade. They're going to add replay protection to it, so that if you do not choose to upgrade the network, upgrade the node, essentially, you won't be able to, you won't have those double payment systems. So that's good. So nothing too crazy. They just want to upgrade the network, sort of like Monero, but Monero did it really to zig and zag around ASICs, whereas Zcash is just doing it to speed up transactions and still maintain the privacy that the coin already provides. So hidden private keys and whatnot, or excuse me, hidden public keys. So next one. This one's kind of an interesting article. Brother of Pablo Escobar releases Diet Bitcoin as alternative to CIA's BTC scam. So hold on to your seats on this one, because it's interesting. The brother of late Colombian drug lord Pablo Escobar, Roberto Escobar, has released his own alternative to Bitcoin, a BTC hard fork called Diet Bitcoin, DDX. So Robert Escobar's connection to Diet Bitcoin has been independently confirmed by a spokesperson for Escobar Inc., Roberto Escobar's investment company, to the Next Web today, March 22nd. Roberto de Jesus Escobar Gaviria's website. Wow, that's intense. Man, Spanish people love their super long names. Website for Diet Bitcoin, or those Colombian, I get it, but you know what I mean. The Diet Bitcoin includes a 281-page book available as a downloadable PDF. 281-page book available as a PDF? Wow, it's intense. Entitled The True Story by Roberto Escobar, Pablo Escobar's Diet Bitcoin, and subtitled, after making $100 billion, Roberto Escobar launches the Diet Bitcoin DDX cryptocurrency. So, if one does not have time to read the full version, which includes chapters entitled The Other Peruvian Plane and Noriega, the Trader, interested parties can download the white paper laying out the impetus for the creation of DDX in a short introduction. I am the first person in the world, Roberto de Jesus Escobar Gaviria. Ah, man, you and your long name. To publicly come out and claim that Bitcoin was created by the American government. And I'm not going to be the last person to say this. The world is going to wake up. The world is going to see that this was created by them, and when they see it, it is too late. And when the CIA finds out that the world knows about this, the CIA is going to sell all of their coins, and it will destroy the value of Bitcoin. That's why I'm going to create my own cryptocurrency called Diet Bitcoin. So I've literally never heard of this, that Bitcoin was created by the CIA. However, to be totally honest, in this day and age, with all the conspiracies and yada yadas going out in the NSA and spying and the CIA, I really wouldn't be surprised by that. Maybe they just did it to, if they did, let's just say hypothetically, maybe they just did it to test how blockchain would work and how the world would react to cryptocurrency. Maybe they did it so that they know that they can track everybody. While everybody thinks that they're nice and secure and anonymous, they're really not, according to the NSA and the CIA. But who knows? So if you guys have any information on that, just comment down below and tell me what you guys think of that and where you have heard that, I suppose. So Diet Bitcoin is currently running an initial coin offering that consists of 3 rounds with 1 million DDX coins as the cap for the crowd sale. Pre-ICO round 1 offers 300,000 coins for $2 a coin, a sale price from the 50 originally listed. Pre-ICO round 2 offers 300,000 for 100 each, and the ICO will have 400,000 tokens for 1,000 each. So yeah, that makes sense that you know, this guy would like that, would do that and sell these coins for like $1,000 a piece. Because, you know, Colombia and Escobar's makes sense. So according to Roberto Escobar's book, it was the elusive Satoshi Nakamoto that approached him about cryptocurrencies initially. I get a phone call. This time it's from El Conejo. Nickname. El Conejo is telling me that he is talking to Satoshi Nakamoto. He is not just talking. He is with him right now in Lima. I said, El Conejo, I do not know who this man is. Bring him to my house. So he responded, okay. I kept reading in the newspapers about this cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. I didn't know what it was all about. I didn't care until El Conejo called me again. I gotta say it like that every time. This time he told me that we are doing our own cryptocurrency. I didn't understand. He told me that the founder of Bitcoin wants to do a cryptocurrency with the family of Pablo Emilio Escobar Gavi. Now there's like multiple R's in there. What is happening? I said, okay, I approve the deal. So interesting. Another quote is, I didn't like the guy. Small guy. I never heard of him before. Nobody in Colombia knows him. Knows his name. I do not know if the world knows him or not, but I do not know him. So this would help if he explained what this guy looked like, whether he was Asian or American or Caucasian or whatever. That would help. And I think maybe this is some BS because he didn't explain what the guy looked like, because that would help a lot. Because everybody knows the whole Satoshi thing. That it could have been the original guy, or it could have been the Asian guy that lived close. Big motorcycle going down the street, everybody with their short pipes. My motorcycle's nice and quiet. It hauls, but it's always quiet. So everybody, if you watch a documentary or anything like that on Bitcoin, basically Satoshi Nakamoto was either this guy that died of, I think it was Lou Gehrig's disease, or B, he was this Asian guy with the last name of Nakamoto as well, or something like that. So nobody really knows who he is, but so that would have helped. I said to Conejo, how can you make a company with a guy that nobody knows except you? So he said, it's not like that. I replied, well, that is the way it looks like to me. John McAfee, I never heard of him. I never heard of his name. It's a worthless name. You know the name that you don't need. It is my name, not the name of this man. Wow, that was incredibly confusing. Maybe somebody should check that. Ethereum is a complete scam. This is nice technology, but it was created by a small child. Who cares about this child? I do not care. He can come here and talk to me in my face. I will say, sir, you are a gringo. You think I care about the gringo coin? I don't care. All of these other coins and tokens, do not get me started on tokens. So, wow, that's an intense article. So you guys should check this out sometimes, because it's pretty intense. So Ethereum was created by Vitalik Buterin, I believe his name is. Vitalik Buterin. I always get it totally mixed up because I don't know. I just call him the world's worst MMA fighter because he has a neck that's 2.5 feet in length. So he would instantly get a chokehold in MMA. Somebody would just get a chokehold on him immediately and he'd be done. But he's kind of a genius because he made Ethereum, which honestly, to some degree, is pretty much the best cryptocurrency. I mean, because you can write to the blockchain, whether you admit it or not. I mean, it's the most useful crypto because you can write to the blockchain on it, and create other cryptos out of it or other tokens and applications. Whereas other cryptos are just now following suit on that. Excuse me, got a yawn there. Here's another one. So a lot of conspiracies coming out lately about Bitcoin. Edward Snowden, the public ledger is Bitcoin's big flaw. Edward Snowden, who became notorious for exposing the U.S. NSA's massive surveillance agenda in 2013, has said Bitcoin's central flaw may not lie in its transaction rate limitations, but its public ledger. So speaking to the audience via webcam at a Blockstack event in Berlin early March, Snowden for the first time gave the audience his detailed views on the emerging technology while agreeing that Bitcoin will endure for a long period of time. Snowden argued that he does not believe Bitcoin will last forever. Everybody's focused on the transaction rate limitations of Bitcoin being its central flaw, and that is a major one, he said, adding that actually the much larger structural flaw, the long-lasting flaw, is its public ledger. The whistleblower further explained that the existing mechanism of the Bitcoin blockchain has the problem of balancing recording every transaction history with attempting to scale its capacity in processing these transactions. That is simply incompatible with having an enduring mechanism for trade because you cannot have a lifelong history of everyone's purchases. All of the interactions will be available to everyone and have that work out out well at scale, he told the audience. Talking of his own personal preference in terms of cryptocurrencies, Snowden said, when we talk about which cryptocurrencies are interesting to me, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Zcash, for me, is the most interesting right now because the privacy properties of it are truly unique. But we see more and more projects that are trying to emulate this, and I think this is a positive thing. So Monero is another one that emulates that as well. Or rather, whichever one came first, I suppose. So Snowden also aired that the concern that having a public ledger that documents every transaction history, while it may appeal to a global consumer base, could also draw interest from governments that wish to outlaw the technology. The comments coincide with reports yesterday of leaked documents suggesting that the NSA may be using its powerful surveillance technology to track not just a blockchain ledger, but also individual users on the distributed network. Elsewhere, Snowden also raised the issue of cryptocurrency being used by dictators in launching state-run projects, such as the Petro by the Venezuelan government, answering a question over whether he was worried about emerging technologies like blockchain being co-opted by dictators, by powerful entities, corrupt entities. Snowden said, "It's not a question of whether It's not a question of if they will be. It's a question of when they will be. It's a question of how do we design competing systems that are simply so attractive that they will not be ignored by the global consumer base, but also the governments themselves who are seeking to compete against them will not simply be able to outlaw them and have that be meaningful." So there you go again. So another article here about a pullback of Bitcoin as it hits stiff resistance. So I just showed you guys the chart. And they're basically saying that if it, if it goes up, past 9,200 or so, if it goes past up, 9,900, somewhere around there, we'll start to run into a bullish situation. So if it, a convincing move above 9,500 would allow a test supply around the psychological hurdle of $10,000 and possibly move up from there again. But at the moment, nobody knows, all speculation, so we're running into some dojis now, according to the daily chart here. Dojis are candles that have both a upper and a lower shadow on them. And my son appears to be dropping things, so anyway. And when that happens, it sort of creates a sense of uncertainty among the bulls, so they don't know whether to sell and they don't know whether to buy at that time, and everybody's sort of doing the same thing at once. And so that creates sort of a leveling out system. And then from there, it's pretty uncertain as to where it's going to go. But it's a good thing when Bitcoin's, like, for example, is crashing, and then you start to see some dojis. That means that it's going to start leveling off at that point. It's likely over for now. So we'll have to see. So Coinbase glitch allowed unlimited Ethereum balances. So on March 21st, the San Francisco-based exchange Coinbase publicly revealed an Ethereum balance glitch that allowed users to manipulate their account balances. Researchers noticed that by utilizing a smart contract, a person could add as much Ethereum as they wanted to their account. Well, that would certainly be nice, but who knows? So just recently, researchers found a vulnerability within the Coinbase, a platform that allows a user to add as much Ether as they want to their accounts by using a smart contract. The bug was revealed to the public on March 21st, but the issue had existed since December 2017. Coinbase rewarded the Dutch research analysts firm Vi Company with a $10,000 reward after it discovered its glitch. So the research noticed that that Ethereum receiving code when receiving from a contract. This allowed sending of Ether to Coinbase to be credited even if the underlying contract execution failed. So they're not the only one with an unlimited coin glitch. According to Vi Company, a malicious actor could manipulate their Ether balance by using smart contract to distribute Ether throughout a set of wallets. Vi Company explains that if one of the internal transactions fail, all transactions prior would be reversed. However, on Coinbase interface, the transactions did not revert. The third-party researcher states on the disclosure on Coinbase, these transactions will not be reversed, meaning someone could add as much Ether to their balance as they wanted. So Coinbase is not the only one that suffered from such glitches that allow people to manipulate balances. The past February, I did talk about this too. The Japanese exchange Zaif had a bug that let users purchase Bitcoin for $0. A month prior to the Zaif incident, the company Overstock had an API glitch which allowed users to pay for goods using Bitcoin Cash instead of the Bitcoin. During that Japanese incident, I think somebody bought, like, it was some ridiculous, like 21 trillion yen in Bitcoin because it was like free the way you could set that up. So another thing that I want to talk about here real quick is ICO trackers. So there are a lot of websites coming out right now that track ICOs, and I think this is a good thing because here's one ICO that was a scam. That basically, see, it says Kevin Ballinger here, but that's definitely Ryan Gosling. So there was an ICO that all of the developers were different Ryan Goslings in different movies, and with different names. So it says experienced graphic designer with a clear focus on identities and illustration. So when Benedict did that in January, making off with 2.7 million in their funds, the ICO reviews sites quickly pulled their favorable profiles of the project and claimed they had been duped. So a lot of these ICO tracking websites essentially, look people up on LinkedIn, and then they actually run their data and such so that they're actually real people with real histories and real backgrounds. So stay alert, for I think it's like ICO Bench, ICO Holder, and ICO Marks or something like that. I'm not sure what the websites are actually called. So it just basically talks about them for the most part. Let's see, featured on, yeah. And so take a look for these, on these ICO tracking websites, because ICOs these days are starting to become very, very, very scammy. Some of them are like, I would never promote or even talk about an ICO that I believe to even be a scam. I did make a couple of videos on ICOs that I thought were scams. One was Storing Coin and one was Arbitra Coin. Both are lending coins that will go down sooner or later. Mark my words on that. Whether it's a month, whether it's a week, 2 months, a year, they're going to go down and people are going to lose money because they're just lending coins and they're outrageous. But any ICO that I would promote is definitely not a scam. So I'm definitely looking into them pretty deeply. So, but I usually don't do that anyway. So, we'll skip that one. So Bitcoin could become illegal almost everywhere after shocking discovery on the blockchain. So I seen this this news article, not this particular one on sciencealert.com, but I've seen it floating around the World Wide Web, the internets, if you will, and it doesn't sound too good. I don't know if it's ever going to become illegal, but it's definitely not a good thing. So the Bitcoin world is coming to grips with a shocking revelation that could potentially threaten the very existence of the world's foremost cryptocurrency. Analysis of the Bitcoin blockchain, the publicly accessible ledger of transactions upon which the system is built, has revealed this vast trove of data is irrevocably tainted with unremovable links to illegal child, let's just say abuse, because I don't even want to say the word, first of all. YouTube would likely demonetize me for some reason, and I think it's disgusting. There's a reason why prisoners hate child abusers in prison, which are inevitably distributed among and by all users of the currency. The discovery of this, in addition to other questionable and possibly outlawed content stored within the blockchain, hypothetically makes Bitcoin ownership illegal in almost every country that has laws against the possession and distributed images of child abuse. So that's the view of a team led by researchers by Germany's Aachen University, who sifted through the blockchain to examine how much arbitrary data it contained. While the open ledger is primarily intended to store financial information related to the blockchain, Bitcoin transactions, non-financial information can also be inserted into the blockchain by users on the system, and to no drastic effect. In their analysis, the researchers uncovered more than 1,600 inserted files on the blockchain, over 99% of which are texts or images, including links to child abuse, copyright violations, privacy violations, and more. The data capacity of each block on the Bitcoin blockchain itself is very slim, 80 bytes. That's not enough for an actual images to be hosted, but plenty for web links and other code pointers and references. So, the article continues to go on. I don't even want to read the rest of it, because people that do this sort of thing, that's ridiculous. So now there's nothing wrong with putting some website links to the blockchain, I suppose, but when they link to something like that or to horrific things like that, they're just pretty much ruining it for everybody. So how that's going to be fixed, I don't really know. But even still, I'm not sure if they're going to completely illegalize Bitcoin. That would be very hard to do, because even if it was illegal, people are probably still going to use it anyway. That would vastly lower the price of Bitcoin for sure, because people couldn't publicly trade it And it would essentially be the end of it, theoretically, but people would still be using it for sure. But I hope you guys enjoy this, this relatively shorter news article that I was talking about here. But as usual, I will see you guys next time.